Man, what's up, everybody, man? I did not plan for this weather to be this cold, but deal with it when it comes. Just turn the heat on. So I got a lot to put down, right? As you see in my video catalog, I have 69 videos in this thing, and that was from old videos that I make. I'm gonna start doing that because it's kind of like PowerPoints. So someone told me that Ramil Amir decided to make a video about a black person, black man, who's, from what I understand, is not African American. And he decided to take a jab at Passport again. He didn't learn from Miko Worldwide. And him and Ty City had this blow up that he had this blow up with Ty City because Ty City had association with Taz. And I don't really care about the thing. That was the problem with Ty City when he was when Aegon was making streams, and then somehow, some way, Taz had a recording of Zero pretending to, having the GAY voice, and then he recorded it and saying this is what the manosphere is, right? So, I already spotted who Ty City was. I'm better than you, nigga. That's what he is. That my list can tell you what type of dude he was. He was part of that 2020 crowd that I think when they was talking about the hood dudes in the space, he was pushing back with it. And then when nobody had his back for when he was doxxed, and then him and his falling out, him and what's that dude's name? Mr. Fantastic falling out, and that's when Mr. Fantastic was so-called pro manosphere to half of the dudes that he came in with, O'Shea, he decided, I don't want to be manosphere no more because the top guys don't want to be in this space. So if the top guys do something wrong, I'm gonna leave the space because it ain't worth being in this space anymore because I came in space for attention and not really to help guys. Ramil is one of the dudes who he was attached to O'Shea, and when O'Shea made him mad, or O'Shea did something that he didn't like, he attached O'Shea to the space. So him and Ty City and the rest of those guys over there made this thing called Holes of Winning, right? So you run around saying holes of winning, holes of winning, holes of winning, but then you give your channel to a female for half the price. Then turned around and tried to explain yourself out of the situation and said you was leaving YouTube. Somehow you making all this money and all this stuff, and I'm revealing me. I make a lot of money. I don't need YouTube shit, blah 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 blah. And then magically your ass come right back to YouTube. I always made this point. I stepped away from YouTube for almost 5 months. You saw me make videos in between. Everybody could denounce, and I can show that I wasn't even on YouTube the whole time. From like May to this year. So I didn't announce that I was leaving. I just said I don't want to be here like that no more. I hit my peak. I made a few videos in between, and I literally did something else. I never proclaimed that I had a big social life and I'm this big top guy and all this other stuff. But these are the guys who say it. And it come right back to the same place they said they didn't want to be a part of. So, Ramil Amir decided to go after this man right here. So, let's see.
Yeah. She crazy selling the side. This up right now, nigga. You know what this remind me? This is the exact picture. We gonna get to the video. Don't worry. Hold on, nigga. Tell me, this ain't this shit right here. This is the real. No, this is the real life shit. This nigga right here with fucking Japanese stepkids, and we got the stepdad fucking fair use. Just without the dreads, a Japanese, Asian, whatever the fuck whatever she.
So, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna find certain things that they want to see, and then gonna say, "See, we got you guys. This is what you guys are all gonna do. This is what you guys are all gonna do." Mind you, this is the same dude who got arrested for transporting a underage girl in a car. Yes, he got off. But the dude that's had the nerve to talk about Miko Worldwide. And when Miko Worldwide was pretty much to what I would look like vindicated, and he's doing tours in America now, in the hood. Ramil Lamir didn't make a video, not one fucking video, of Miko Worldwide saying how wrong he was. See, this is why other races don't like black dudes. And they don't want them in their space, and they don't want them in their establishment. They don't want them in there. Because even when black people wrong, they don't even want to admit that they wrong. So he goes and finds, or somebody in his camp decided they wanted to have the one-ups on passport men, because for some reason, after they can't, most of them people, they can't, the people who probably gave him this, these people can't stand each other for more than like 2-3 months, okay? They can't stand each other for 3 months. They can't even establish a real relationship with each other long enough for them to even make it a credible situation, for them to say, okay, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Passport men have, they had their little back and forth and stuff, but 9 times out of 10, most of them are cool with each other. sysbm, all the fake ones, they all drop to the wayside. The anti-passport groups are the only ones who can't keep and establish a relationship with each other at all. Remember, this is the same Ramil Lamir that was telling brothers that you can't go overseas because we got too much business to take care of. We got too many business to take care of. Him and AM1, saying that stupid shit. Oh, we got too much business to take care of. But I can go make porn and, adult entertainment movie, and I can go around and smoke and drink and do all that stuff. But I can tell y'all, the good guys, the guys that don't have all this crap going on and no jail records, I tell y'all do all the work so I can come in and work with y'all. Or I could benefit off of it. Right? This is the same dude. Him and Top City made the little SBE and all this other stuff, and then, 3 months later? Like 2 months, 3 months later, now they at odds. Because Top City associations with a person who went around and talked shit about everybody and disrespect everybody and disrespect the whole space, and you thought that was a good person to have in your space. This is why a lot of people don't like black people. Because you associate with too many of the unsavory people, and then, I'm cool with him, and it don't mean nothing because I'm not in that beef. No, man. If this dude touched somebody's kids you still gonna hang out with him? Or he robbed somebody, you still gonna hang out with him? Oh, my fault. You touched somebody's young apples. You gonna still hang out with him because he's cool? Or that don't have nothing to do with me. These the dudes who do that. So let's continue with the video.
Dude, you're not gonna tell me this is not the same. Y'all wonder why. And look, y'all was mad at Disney for doing this. But I told you, I was like, yo, don't be mad at Disney. There's a market for this. They are the ones. Oh, fair use, man. Hold on. Fair use. Disney, they might be on some other shit. But,
And one thing he never gonna talk about is the fact is that this man who went over, the man who go to Japan and got married, he got married to the girl. She was in a relationship. She wasn't a single mom from a dozen dudes. Do I condone going overseas for a woman who's a single mom? No. But these dudes over here think that you should wife up some girl who end up with some prison dude and all this other stuff. If I have to take a single mom, I'd rather take a single mom who had a husband or a longtime boyfriend who had a good profession. Because I know that that dude is not going to produce any drama towards me. That's what I said if I had a choice. Now, freedom, hell no. I am not going to sit there and wife up no single mom from no other dude's kids, especially from another race of people. Nope, not at all. But it was that man's decision. So this whole point of this video is to talk shit about passport guys again because you having drama with your own people. This is what I try to tell you guys. Stay away from these people and let them eat each other alive. Because what they need is you to make fun of to keep their relationships fresh. But if they don't have the people around them to make fun of, eventually they're going to tear each other apart like they're doing. Now, this didn't work like that. It didn't start no beef between Passport. Nobody's talking about this like that. They just said, okay, he's just talking. Nobody's responding. I'm only responding to this right here because it was sent to me. And I'm like, I was like, okay, here we go again. But it ain't that big anymore. People are getting exhausted from these dudes just taking shots at sysbm and Passport guys because they can't establish their relationships. This is the reason why, because they have to feel good about themselves. So they go nitpicking stuff, but they won't go and nitpick their own community of people because it'll make them look bad.
I told y'all there was a market for this. I told you niggas out here taking on the kids of other races of men, you fucking pathetic motherfucker.
Who's the most pathetic motherfucker? A guy who got a fucking mugshot was in a passenger seat with a 17-year-old girl that has felonies, or a guy's taking on another race of kids? I think you won that award for being the most pathetic motherfucker, right?
I mean, dog. This is some lame nigga shit. I'm sorry, I can't go, dog. So if stepdaddy's in 2022, you don't get nothing out the deal.
Being a guy like you gets nothing out the deal. Saying pumping them in these holes with a adult film background and a case that you was in a car with a 17-year-old girl. I'm gonna keep bringing that shit up because you should be the last motherfucker who be talking shit about anybody. Seriously.
You get the mother doesn't even respect your ass. She looking at you like, what the fuck? She looking at you.
So you can try to tell, and this is black women talk right here, right? So you can tell what another race of woman looks to another man instead of actually watching the video of how these two met.
Like, hold up, nigga, like, you actually willing to sit back and raise another nigga's kids that you didn't.
And this is what Ramil is known for. People send him videos, he jumps out the window for shit, and then he doesn't correct it. This is the same dude who jumped out the window for black pill stuff, for the incel stuff, for the sextile stuff, for all this different stuff, and he's still doing the same shit. Even after the fact that this dude sold his channel to a female, and then try to walk it back and said, blah, 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 whatever I'm saying. But you already established that you were already feeding these women their egos. Because having sex with these women is feeding their egos. Giving them money, giving them weed is feeding their egos. Giving them the best sex they can have that you can put out, you can output, is giving them, feeding their egos. Who's more pathetic? As MOT said, a sexual parasite, or a guy who goes overseas and finds a attractive woman and he says, okay, I might wipe her. I'm gonna wipe her up. Obviously, this guy does not care about that, and he's gonna learn the hard way, or we're gonna be wrong. See, this is why I say that when I never try to think that I never try to think that I'm right about anybody. I give it time. I give it time to settle. Remember, I showed you all that picture of that female who talked about me, and she's a crackhead now walking down the street talking to herself. I learned years back that you always give things time to manifest so you can see if you was right or wrong. You don't know how something's going to end. But somehow, some way, you jumped out the window, and now you're gonna be able to just do what you do, and then make videos, because there's a lot of Pookie sympathizers in this fucking space. And yeah. So let's see this right here. Shit. So let's see. A lot of step cities in Europe as well. Thank God for this content. The 90s was washed when his propaganda stepdads. I went from a check a couple about the video. The guy's actually a guy. The guy actually looks like a nice person. He's teaching his kids how to play piano. He's teaching his kids how to sing. He's teaching his kids English. He eats healthy food and take care of himself. The only negative thing, he went and wifed up a single mom. Overall, he looks happy. Don't put yourself in that situation. Single moms will look for a simp once they're done with Pookies. And this is the thing that he don't understand. These guys think this shit means... these dudes really think that this shit means international, right? This is how fucked up this is how mentally fucked up they really are, thinking that every single mom went with a Pookie or Ray Ray in their culture and had kids with that person, and now they're looking for a stepfather and all this other shit. You don't even know who the dude is. You didn't even think about the fact that there's the video, which I'm going to show y'all, that said she was married for 7 years before she went back on the market. She was married, you stupid idiots. But hey, you want to tell guys to pump and dump these hoes. You want to tell guys to put their dicks in women who have sex with prisoners and gay bisexual men, but you acting like that's a win for everybody. Being a sexual fucking parasite. Now let's see. He could have stayed here to do that in Blackistan. So you want him to get with a woman in this culture so she can try to put him on child support or ruin his life by lying on him, saying he touched her kid. He ain't taking care of Bokisha's kids. He could have went to Kenya to find one there, or picked up an Asian mom, a single mom in America. So you're telling the guy who he should pick if he gonna pick a woman instead of who he wants to pick. This is the advice these people give, and then after their advice blows up. See, this is why I say that when a person make mistakes on their own volition, that's their mistake. But when you sit back and listen to these type of people, and you take their advice, once their advice don't work, and you're sitting there dealing with all this dumb shit that they told you to do, they all disappear. So, funny thing, this guy's originally from East Africa. Peep his name. His parents are born and raised in America, so he could have been a stepdad in America and the motherland, but instead he ended up in a complete different nation. Goofy as F. But since he has no kids prior to getting with a Japanese chick, I'm not gonna cap. This is the funniest live stream I ever watched. Subject to this. Bryce Pill. This is a classic. Ramil is crazy. The foolishness for real. The females shake my head. The stupidity for the free fails with trash. Men who can travel whatever they want. If their self-esteem is trash, they gonna completely, what's it called? Zoom to blah blah is not for simps. The blah 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 blah. It's a bunch of guys. Passport bros taking L's left and right. Sheesh. Losers attract losers. Mic drop. Mind you, these are the guys that are in his. These are the guys who have it so together about women that the women are not changing, but these dudes are just trying to out women. Study shows men are the largest demographic of stepdads. That sucks. Many were brass that way. So let's go here. How I met my wife.
And it was a pretty big class. It was like maybe like 12 or 14 people. It was quite a big class. Anyway, mine's actually big.
As I said, she's kind of cute a little bit. But let's see. Let's hear the story about them meeting. And this dude and these idiots don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I go around the class.
Like during the class was a
class story is pretty good. I'm telling the class story. I'm telling it because it's embarrassing for her.
Stop.
Here we go. So I rock up to.
So it's kind of a messed up thing. Like I said before, there's no real judgments on this brother's, decisions, because I know he's not from America. But the fact is, one red flag is she speak English, right? She speaks full English, meaning that she probably mastered the fact that she can take advantage of anybody who can speak English. Now that's probably me just being cautious, whatever, but it's kind of weird that she could speak full English.
Class, basically she kicks my ass in this class because she knows that there are probably like 7 or 8 total people in this class, and it's all pop Pilates stuff. So she's having me do like really simple but painful things like this, and like just like fire hydrant raises on all fours and things that I never do.
I actually created the entire track just for you.
The track was awesome, by the way. The song list is amazing.
And like the movements, so you'll never want to come back.
And I loved it. On the contrary, I loved everything. So long story. So she basically kicks my ass in this class, and then we finish the class, and we actually start doing some animal flow, which is one of the things I'm certified in. With a bunch of people. She's a big mover, so she was just like down to try anything. So it's probably like 5 of us just moving, filming some stuff, and then we finished all that. And at the end, I'm like, oh, we should take a picture together. And she's like, cool. So we give someone the camera, and I do the kind of get my hand behind her, kind of touching her waist, but like
really getting in there.
Like kind of got in there. It was on her waist. I didn't like get near her butt or anything like that, but I kind of like put my hand on her in that way that was like, hey, I'm kind of feeling you. Like literally, but also like, yeah. And when I did that, we did this flex because we do this at Sogo. So we basically did this. So my hands on her waist, we're doing this, and her whole body was shaking, like convulsing. And so I'm thinking like, wow, she's flexing hard for this picture.
You're embarrassing me.
turns out after we start dating, she told me that the reason she was shaking then wasn't because how hard she was flexing. It was because, I feel.
So basically, he didn't try to pull no game on her, that dumb shit. See, this is why I laugh at these motherfuckers who say, if you can't get it over here, you can't get it over there. He didn't read no books about it. He was just sending her some kind of basic signals of trying to like, okay, I like you, blah, blah, blah. But the funny thing is that a lot of dudes are not looking at this video and seeing this, how he was trying to just, this is how you supposed to date in other countries. This is how you supposed to, not this game bullshit, not all this dumb bullshit where women are playing their games, or she got out of a relationship just to get back into another relationship. But she showed with her track record, shout out to MOT, that she could be in a relationship long term. She was in a 7-year relationship. She wasn't out here jumping from one man to man after she divorced. She jumped from one dude who signaled the signal. She took a chance on another race of guy. And guess what? We don't know if this is her first black guy or not. But you guys are just making all this other shit. So this dude is the first black guy she with. That means that he's the alpha and omega of basically her perception of black men. And this is the thing that I always talked about to other people, is that the perception of black men is always skewed based off women of other races when they first meet a black dude. This is why when you walk into another race, it's your job to make sure that you are a good representation for the other people that's going to come behind you. And then you have to shout them out and tell them, yo, this and this and this and this and that, and this and this and that. You have to tell them to watch out for certain black people so they can know the black people to watch out for, so they don't make a mistake and try to lump us all together.
You should explain it. You're
you're really gonna make
me this is my moment. This is my moment.
Okay. I wasn't really sure what I was signing up for, but
we're getting right in there.
It's happening. So for me, I'm not really impressed many times by like guys, just like seeing them like physically and all that. It really comes down to how they are as a person, their personalities, how well they move. And so seeing him move really...
She's not impressed by how somebody looks. That's a very basic, that's a other construct from the women over here, who won't date you until you have a certain haircut, or won't date you because you don't have tattoos, won't date you because you don't speak a certain way, or you have a political whatever. They're trying to get to know you. This is what real basic dating is about. Getting to know the person and not putting all this stuff, oh, I don't like him because he did this and did that, and trying to throw dudes out the way. And then all the females, all the women that these dudes, all the men that these women pick end up being wrong. And then they try to go back to the men that they threw away and find out that the guys either they sometimes not bitter, but they moved on, or they just don't want to be around nobody.
Well, although he was in pain the whole time, like during the class it was like, oh, this person can actually do things. Oh, he's an athlete. Oh, I see you. And so that was like a good thing. And then like talking to him after the class was like, oh, he's like a normal person. He's not like a creeper. He knows how to like treat women well.
I put on my best face.
So. You did a good job. A+.
Look at that. Look at that. All that flirting and everything else. You see the contrast. You see the contrast of how they met and how certain people meet over here. It's always a dude trying way too hard for a female, but he did the basic things to impress a female. He showed her that he wanted to be a part of her world. He took a class and he showed that, hey, he's like, I'm not gonna show this girl I'm not gonna show this girl my pain and none of this because I'm still trying to impress her. And she like, okay, I like this kind of stuff. I got over this guy that I've been with. Might have been something going on, but I'm ready to move on. It wasn't like she was thought herself out to everybody. She was in a 7-year relationship, but I'm gonna get to that.
So that, and then obviously his physique and his like everything is very
Okay.
And then the picture happened. So at that point, I was like, okay, I guess this is sort of nice, and I haven't been like this close to like a guy in probably years, and so that's where all the like.
As you hear, she haven't been close to a guy in years, meaning that she wasn't thought herself out trying to have a hot girl summer. See, this is why I have to laugh at these dudes who don't know what the fuck they talking about, and they thinking that everything that women do in America, it always transfer over to other countries. No, other countries got a certain subsection of people who rule that and dominate that area, and they don't respect these type of women. So women know even if they got freedom to do that kind of horse shit, they will get judged. And the dudes would tell them, don't take that girl seriously. So this girl knows that she's in Japan, where, as people don't understand, this is why I say you need to look at the news and stuff. There's women out there in Japan who went to jail for doing some scammy stuff to men. But for some reason, you want to say that feminism is over there as well. It is over there. But it's a different form of feminism over there. Women can't get away with certain things over there. They still go to jail. You can go to jail for selling bootlegs in Japan. They're very strict.
Oh my god, this is happening. I don't know what to do. Feelings came from us.
So that moment happens. I leave the class. I invited her to one of my classes a few days later, which is an animal flow class. She comes to this class. I'm also going to explain this because it's probably equally embarrassing and wrong from a trainer perspective, but it happened. So she comes to my class. This is not okay, but it happened. So
don't do that.
She comes to my class.
See, and this is in stories like this, like this right here. It gives you purpose of wanting to it gives you a kind of a clarity of like, oh shit, is it like this out in the dating world? Is it this fun? See, this is the type of dating fun that guys on my side, sysbm and passport, that's what we want. We don't want this kind of disjointed bullshit over here where it's fucking like you working harder to impress a woman than a woman impressing you. Guess what? They was impressing each other. As you hear it, it was a give and take even from the very beginning. And then they didn't want to show each other feelings because they were still feeling each other out. But she wasn't out there sucking no penis, and he wasn't out there banging no woman. They made exclusively to say, I'm going to focus on this one person, and I'm going to make sure that this one person likes me. And if it doesn't, I'll move on. And they both paid attention to each other's feelings and said, I want to see something there. This is what regular dating is supposed to be about.
And it's an animal flow class. So you're kind of on all fours doing all this stretch-based, active stuff. And it was a pretty big class. It was maybe 12 or 14 people. It was quite a big class. Anyway, mine's actually bigger. I go around the class and I'm kind of helping people with form correcting. And I go up.
And women like this, that a lot of guys want to date, you don't mind paying for dates when you have women like this, because you know she not gonna go off and have sex with another dude. There's plenty of dudes that went overseas and dated, and they only date overseas, and they told me their stories and said, hey man, it's like this and this, the girl like this, and she act like this and this, and he's like, yeah, I dated over here and the woman act like this and this. In certain countries, by the second date, if the girl like you, she's not going to waste no time, because she used to men getting what they want. she's gonna drag you down as much as fast as possible. Like, no, you're my boyfriend. No, nope. I know what it is to be on the open market. I don't want to be single no more. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. I wanna lock you down right now. I wanna prove to you that I like you. Second date is done. They giving you the cheeks and everything else. In some other cultures, that don't happen. But they're locking dudes down. This is the reason why guys travel and they already settled down. They get with the not the first girl they see, but the fact is the women know what kind of environment they in. In other countries, the men have better choices than the women, and it's always supposed to be like that. Unlike this environment where you got men out here thinking they can outdo women by having multiple women and other stuff, and then y'all just playing each other, and y'all making each other mentally messed up and burnt out on each gender. Now you have the men out here pumping dumping these holes, and you got the women who feminists who don't wanna put down the what MOT says again, the bag of penises. They don't want to put that down. They hate men so much, but they don't want to put that down because they still depend on men's sex and men's energy. So they don't want to go with a woman because either they tried a woman and they didn't like the reflection and they get from a woman dating a woman. So they needed the guys, but they had to hate them. So these women are time bombs waiting to just throw stuff on and be Amber Heard like.
Her, and obviously I'm thinking now this is my second opportunity to kind of like, you know, somewhat tactfully get my feel on, which again is like wrong. If you're a trainer, don't do this. But at this stage, I already knew, like, I could kind of feel there's maybe a thing brewing here. Yeah, so just, you know, corrections like, oh, you should just, you know, careful corrections. Like, I'm not a complete perv, thankfully, I don't think. But, but kind of just like taps, like, oh, so you want to move this back, or like try to do this, and then like same thing, but kind of hips. I don't think I did anything really vile, but anyway, so it was my second opportunity to do that kind of thing. And I think she had the same kind of response, which again, at the time I didn't really know, but I kind of had a feeling based on the fact that she even came to this class after not having seen me for like months, because she was just essentially blowing me off. So class finishes, she does great, she's a great mover. Class finishes.
See, and this is the kind of stuff that I actually enjoy. Like, yo, this is the kind of stuff that a lot of guys want to do, because the fact is, this is how dating really supposed to be. Right here. If dating was like this, it wouldn't be no problem dating. But the dysfunctional shit that's over here, yeah, it mean you don't want to give your money because you know somebody's trying to take advantage of you, taking the turn. You know she's sucking somebody off and doing all this crazy shit behind the scenes. There's no genuine shit over here, but this right here is genuine. Cause the fact is, he was still trying to shoot his shots, but she was scared to open herself up to a man. But a lot of these dudes talk about how they know women, but they don't know genuine women. All they know is whores and thoughts. They never try to sit down and try to find the genuine women so they can be wrong about women. I tried to find the right black woman so I can be wrong. Found a few, but they wasn't my type. But these dudes have so-called game and skills, right? Why can't they ever find a genuine woman to settle down for?
Then I ask her, like, hey, would you want to go out? Like, maybe.
And if they so alpha, they can put the ball in their court where they won't have to deal with any of this crap that they're people dealing with.
A couple friends together, not like a one-on-one date thing. Because again, I actually really just wanted to kind of get to know who you are. That was my biggest thing. I wanted to just like talk to you, to understand more about you. And so again, we ended up going out. I think it was that same day. It was a Saturday. I think it was that same day. So we ended up going out, and that's kind of when fireworks happened. I got one of my friends who is also a Lululemon ambassador, Maha,
and that's the whole point, right? So in Japan, That's how you date in Japan. From basically what somebody told me, and my ex from years ago, years ago, that's probably more than 15 years ago. My ex, who's Japanese, um, told me that that's how some people, that's how some people introduce themselves. A lot of women will feel kind of reclusive in the dating scene. And these are the genuine ones in Japan. They, in order for them to loosen up, they have to be around people they trust. This is why the outings, this is why you have group outings. Because even though y'all like each other, you have to try each other out in a setting where you're comfortable, and the only way you have to be comfortable is around your own friends. And then eventually, when you see that you like the person a lot, then you be like, okay, I want to know this person around. It's always certain steps. It's always step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. It's always steps. It's like a dance. When you're dating overseas, when a different culture, it's a step to it. Here, people are skipping steps. They're throwing stuff under the table. They cheating and doing all that. I don't like that. As you see and you hear, this interaction is more better than over here.
And her partner at the time, to join us. So to like basically, I told Maha to convince her to come out with. I got Maha and her partner to come out with us, so it wasn't just us. And then we ended up seeing a bunch of friends out there anyway. So it was like it was a group of people. It wasn't like a date. It was kind of like, let's just meet at a bar and chat. And yeah, it was that night when we really finally got to talk, not in the context of fitness. And I realized like this is an amazing person, and I definitely want to spend more time with you. Yeah. So that's the long story, anyways. That's how it all started, and then the whole dating thing happened, and that's probably for another video. But again, shooting this because a lot of people asked how we actually met, and essentially that's how we met in the context of fitness at a dinner. She blew me off for like months, and then eventually I got fed up and went to one of her classes because she said that's basically the only way I'm going to see her. She then came to mine. We then went out together, and the rest, I guess, is kind of history. That's right. So if you have questions about that, or I feel like one of the common questions is like, where do I meet someone like who speaks English and all that? And to address that quickly, I've lived in Japan for 12 years, and I have, obviously prior to marrying Risa, which is 2 years ago, or dating her, which is 4 years ago, that means I spent 8 years essentially dating on and off different people and just like having fun.
So as you see, this brother didn't rush into relationships. See, real dating takes a lot of time before you call somebody your girlfriend. And it also takes time. By the time you call this person your girlfriend, you already understand that this woman could be your wife. This is why it happens so fast. This is why a lot of dudes will be like, I'm dating this girl, blah, blah, blah. A lot of women who are not uncultured, as shout out to MOT again, because I'm taking his terms. They're uncultured. And what they don't do is they always think that it's an opportunity to do more, an opportunity to get more out of something, opportunity to be a scavenger or a leash or whatever they're trying to do to get over on something, right? So with real dating, you're getting to know each other. You're focusing on that one person. And then you're like looking like, okay, I like this person. I want this person. I want to be intimate with this person. At some point, the woman will turn around and be like, yeah, I really do want to be intimate with this guy. I don't want to play around with this no more. I want to see if we have sexual chemistry. And if we don't, I wasted too much time. We going to make it work. I don't care. I want to be intimate with this guy. but I have to still take the steps to be around him. Not like these whores in this country where they just jumping this, and they skipping steps. That's the reason why these women are so dysfunctional, because they skip steps and they do things all unorganized, disorganized. This is why the dating scene is disorganized. Then the dudes are disorganized and everything else. These guys put way too much time into trying to get vagina, while the women putting this unlimited time limit on dudes while she's sleeping with another guy. Some women are putting guys under a 90-day contract. Some women are putting men under a 1,000-hour contract. Some women are putting guys under a 5-hour contract, the guys that fit their needs. In a traditional cultured woman, she's making sure that she's comfortable and she's not making a mistake with a person, because she gives her body to the right people. That's not everybody in those cultures, but that's almost nearly the majority in certain cultures, where they like, no, I'm not sleeping with man after man after man. My mom, my dad, all these women around me, all these people, they show me the right way. I see what these women turn into. I see how they turn and what they turn out like. I don't want to be that way. You hear him say that they was dating for 2 years. That's 2 years before they even, I think, before they even married. They was dating for a long time. But you want to sit there and make judgment on this guy.
In Tokyo, which is a pretty wild city. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'd love to move to Tokyo, I'd love to find a partner, ideally one who like speaks some English but is also Japanese. Frankly, in my experience, and this is probably for another video, but I'll just really briefly say, having dated a whole bunch of people, I can safely say that the only kind of person that at a certain point, I realized that the only kind of person I could actually gel with is somebody who has some degree of international exposure and can speak some degree of English. That doesn't apply to everyone. There are plenty of foreign men and women who come to Japan and wind up dating people who basically only speak Japanese and getting married and having kids and all that. You know, sometimes that works out really well, sometimes it doesn't. I knew for myself, and basically the majority of my friends in my circle.
And this is one thing I don't like about the perception of what these SBE dudes or the holes and winning dudes, because they always try to project what the women doing over here over there. And I can tell you from videos, from conversations I had with dudes overseas, because a lot of these dudes who so-called travel, they don't have any friends from that country, male friends. They don't have any. One thing that I always try to do is make friends, the right friends, with men in that culture, so I can learn more about that culture and learn. When you know some guys of what they really are, if they can establish a friendship and establish a tight relationship with a person from another culture, a positive relationship. This is why I don't trust dudes who say they travel, but they have no friends overseas that are male, that teaches them, and they can bring them online and tell, okay, this and this and this and this and that. They can tell stuff what happened. They all want to have this perception through the women and through their own eyes.
Who are not Japanese, that kind of thing just doesn't work. Like, it's probably okay to get to know this person, but again, like, kids and all that obviously can't get particularly complicated, but I'm inspired, and you know, she's really attractive. I'd love to kind of like figure out who this person is. So again, I invite her to boot camp, me at the gym, whatever. She's not having any of that. So I'm like, look, I think at some point I'm just like, how can I see you? Like, tell me how it is I can see you. She's like, you could come to one of my classes, and I'm like, bet. I register for one of her classes. I rock up to the class.
Mighty, you are the kind of person that doesn't do group fitness classes.
Yeah, I don't do classes at all. So it was like
quite surprising.
It was not exactly something I wanted to do. I'm not really a group fitness kind of person, but it was kind of the only way I could think of that I could see you. And I was like, I just want to see this person and like talk to her for like 10 minutes and just know who this person is. Yeah, so I like booked the class, and she must have thought like, oh, you actually
He's seriously coming. Okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, I don't think you meant it that way.
No.
But when I received it, I was like, really net, neutral, platonic messages. I think I said again, I was like, again, I know we were messaging like this, and I just want you to know this is not, you know, those messages. And, I think I said, because I know you're married. And she goes, do you remember what you said?
Well, I just got divorced? Or
Yeah, basically that.
Basically that, right?
She basically said, like, actually, I think it's like, actually, I'm divorced, or something like really simple like that. And that for me was like, oh. Like green light to get to know. Yeah, to get to know this person at least.
It wasn't intended to be that though, but.
Yeah, I don't think you meant it that way.
No.
But when I received it, I was like, oh.
Oh, okay.
So that was key. So once that happened, then I was like, oh.
And one thing that you don't see in this dynamic between them two is the fact is that he's giving her more power than she should be getting, right? She still let him be a man. In the relationship over here, if you know how to read patterns when it comes to couples, women always over here have power. And when they always hear this stuff, you always hear that the dude's doing more for the woman than the woman doing for them. But in this situation, they was playing footsies with each other mentally before they even talk to each other.
Okay, so I feel like it's probably okay to get. First time I actually messaged her on Instagram was because I was really inspired by the stuff she was writing. I had never met or seen any Japanese person post this, like empowering, net positive, like you can do it no matter, like you can. It was just really inspirational content that I feel like I'd never, in English, English and Japanese, that I'd never really seen any, in particular Japanese influencers posting about. So when I slid into her DMs, I actually wrote to her. We should find this and post it. But I wrote to her something like, "Hey, I know you're married and I know you have kids. This is not one of those messages. I just want to let you know I'm really inspired by your content and like keep it up. It's awesome. It's like really nice. It's really refreshing to see this kind of thing in Japan." And again, her being in a position where she was being pretty dismissive because she didn't want to deal with guys, basically said like, "Thanks."
Basically.
That was basically the extent of her response, and I was like, cool. Again, she's got this kids marriage thing. I didn't know about the divorce at the time. I just thought this person's married, so I obviously didn't want to step on any toes. So then at some point,
And there we go. This man is a respectful guy, right? As you hear, he said, "I don't want to step on your toe. I know she has kids, and I know she has kids, and I know she has kids, and she has a husband. I'm not going to try to talk to her like that. I'm just going to message her and tell her that I like the fact that she's inspirational." On the inside, he's like, okay, whatever. And this is unlike these pump and dump, unsavory dudes who will still try to talk to women even if they married, even if it costs them their lives, because they think that every single woman is. They project that every single woman is certain ways they think they are through their experience with these messed up ass dysfunctional women, and when they make the decision and they get it wrong, it hurts them, and it hurts the image of black men in general.
Out of the relationship I was in probably early 2018, and I think so we kind of started going back and forth, like just about random stuff, and I wanted to know more about her. So I was trying to get her to come to Sogo boot camp. So I was like, "Hey, you should come to boot camp sometime," and she was totally just not having it. And so she just like wasn't in a position to believe men, which I completely understand. So long story short, actually no, this is key. This is key. This is the moment. So so in these messages, which are like really net neutral platonic messages, I think I said again, I was like, again, I know we were messaging like this, and I just want you to know this is not, those messages. And, I think I said, because I know you're married. And she goes, do you remember what you said?
Well, I just got divorced, or
yeah, basically that.
Basically that, right?
She basically said like, but in the other, and what I was really actually drawn to was the messaging in her posts. And before, and this is not one of those times that I want to do anything. So I basically met her under the context of, this is a nice person who, like, finalizing beats.
Yeah,
okay.
Basically, yeah.
Fair enough. So when I met her, and this whole relationship came to be. So that's what we're here to do today.
I'm down. Let's do it.
We're down. Risa and I met at an ambassador.
And as you see before, right? Even right now that she's an influencer, she's not trying to take up the attention. She's still letting him talk. And she even confirms him that, oh, I'm gonna let him talk. She's not trying to take liberties of getting in the way. She always looking to him to make sure that she can talk or whatever. Look, when I
Risa and I met at a Lululemon ambassador dinner. She had just become an ambassador. This is 2017, November. She had just become a Lululemon ambassador, and so this was a dinner celebrating her and a couple of the girls / people who became ambassadors. And I had just finished doing this 1 month influencer campaign with Lululemon, and this was the concluding dinner of that campaign. So that was our first time meeting. At the time, I was in a relationship that was going south. She was getting out of her marriage. You had already moved out? You guys were kind of like finalizing beats?
Yeah,
okay.
basically, yeah.
Fair enough. So when I met her, I actually just met her as a person that I thought was interesting. She spoke English. I thought that was cool. But we probably spoke for a grand total of like a minute, maybe?
Yeah, I would say like less than two.
It wasn't a long conversation. It was a dinner.
By and by.
Yeah. It was a dinner with probably, I want to say, maybe 12 total people, and she was sitting totally across the table. So there was one moment when we had a chance to exchange words, and it turned out she spoke English, which I thought was like, I was like, oh, you speak English?
I speak English.
I know you speak English. It's cool. So yeah, of course I thought she was attractive, but I was in a relationship, and I've done a lot of dumb stuff before, and this is not one of those times that I want to do anything. So I basically met her under the context of, this is a nice person who is doing this Lululemon thing, full stop. What did you think?
Basically the same thing. I was like, oh, he seems really nice. I've never, I mean, you know my whole story, but, so I was ending my 7-year marriage, and,
7-year marriage. She was in a relationship, a marriage for 7 years, meaning that he was the first guy that she was going to be with after her husband. You don't see a lot of these so-called women over here. You got women out here divorcing their husbands and going out having hot girl summers. But
inside there were a lot of things going on, and wasn't prepared or even thinking about getting into a new one. So honestly, in that moment, it was just couldn't really believe anyone or like any guys.
See?
I remember.
Yeah, so like it was shutting out all the guys. It's like, hi.
Yeah,
hi.
I feel like you were just being nice to people. Like you were just being like polite,
nice,
like a just polite person. Yeah.
See, and even right now, if we had more women like her, I don't care if she's a single mom or whatever. If we had more women like her, and this is why I like the women overseas, because even in the context of them in videos and them talking to you, and I talk to a lot of women in Brazil, the right ones, the women overseas, and some of them, they was like, they gave me a little bit like, oh wow, this is nice. I don't feel like I'm wasting my damn time. I don't feel like she's gonna be banging some other dude and then this stuff. It's not naive, because you can sense it when you know you're dealing with one of those other types of chicks. So let's hear what he says about.
Deborah Vance is intrigued by the idea of you writing jokes for her.
Didn't she like burn her husband's house down?
Yes.
So I've never shot a video like this, but this is a topic I've wanted to address for a long time, and I haven't. So today I want to talk about what it's like having a Blasian baby here in Japan, and yeah. Well, here goes. So I've lived in Japan for 12 years, and I love this country. I love a lot of things about being in Japan. Things are on time. People are generally very polite. There are endless opportunities if you're...
As you hear, Everybody's polite and everything's on time. Who wants to be in a chaotic, dysfunctional environment? Oh, my bad. The black society, who chases off the people who like to be on time and be respectful for the dysfunctional people.
Creative and hardworking, whether you're Japanese or a foreigner. Food is delicious. The experiences are, best in the world. But like being a black man living here in Japan, one of the things I've always thought about is, what is it going to be like if I have a child and they grow up here? I have a lot of mixed friends in Japan. They call them hafu, or half. I don't really.
I told you about that. I told y'all about with the Hannah Kimura situation. And people who remember my videos, that was one of the things that made Hannah do what she did. It's because they like to call mixed people halfers. This is one of the things that when you do have to, this the underlying racism, but they're not gonna be like it over. It's not gonna be as racist like it's over here.
The word and don't really use it, but I have a lot of mixed friends, whether they're mixed Japanese American or Japanese and Korean, Japanese Australian, you name it. And the experiences shared by a lot of those people I know are what I would consider to be maybe net not so great, having grown up in Japan or been raised in Japan. And it's hard to say that because I love this country and I love a lot of the things about it, but the reality is I don't know if racist is the word, but it's a very discriminating country, and I don't feel it so much. Maybe I've gotten used to it. I think I probably did more when I got here, because frankly, like, I'm a black guy with dreads walking down the street, so of course in many ways I'm probably novel and unique simply because of that. But also I don't really care about fitting in the way that, for example, my daughter Jasmine will. Jasmine's 9 months old, and to focus on her specifically, thinking about what her experience would be like growing up in Japan, where she's torn between trying to be Japanese and trying to be Kenyan American, and her entire life she's going to be told by Japan that she's not Japanese. And that's crazy to me, but it's basically, as far as I can tell, the shared collective experience by a lot of mixed Japanese and foreign people. There's a friend of mine named Ranzo. He runs a channel called The Black Experience Japan. If you have not visited that channel, absolutely go visit that channel, because the interviews that he's conducted and the conversations he's had with people in Japan are profound. He has shed light on a topic that had never had light like this shed on it in the way he has done it. And huge shout out to Renzo for the work you're doing. And there are other people doing similar work, but what he's done is really just created a collective that's incredible. And I was one of his first interviews back in 2017, and he's done, it might be hundreds at this stage, but just tons of interviews with black people here, half black, any experience that from all over the world, people of color who are living here in Japan. And so again, without rambling too much, I love this country, and I'm really looking forward to it's funny.
And this tells you about the women taking a actual chance on some men and having kids with them. See, what Ramil didn't talk about is that this guy has his own kids with her. Unlike the women over here who like to not try to get kids by another guy or try to play around and try to have the man do all this crazy stuff for her kids before they have kids of their own. Or they try to, get the bag on the biggest guy, right? You have to realize that a lot of us, and I think Sigma Jones, shout out to him, I think he's married to a Japanese. I think Kidakari Jones, Yeah, Kadakri Jones. Um, SKC, and I would love the SKC. I don't know. He's in between whatever he does. I really, I kind of like fell off with him because he was over in the relationship stuff, and he would never talk about the what he had to deal with. Every single body, when this is what you're gonna have to deal with in every race, even in South America. When you have a kid with another group of people, how your kid's gonna be perceived by everybody else? They might be jealous of your kid because you come from America and they have to live a certain way, so they're gonna pick on your kid. There's things that you have to realize and have to be prepared for. But guess what? For men over here who had to deal with the black community and the bullshit that comes out of these people's mouths and all of the dysfunction you have, I know some dudes are gonna be some amazing fathers if they decide to be a father, because they'll tell their kids, hey, I'll teach you how to this. I've been dealing with this way longer than you by my own so-called people. Blah, 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 blah. And giving them the real truth of all this other stuff. But, this is a good point right here that he's making right here.
I want to say I'm really looking forward to raising my daughter here, but I don't think I am. A big part of the reason I've always known that I'm going to go back to America is because I don't want my child to be subject to, just the rampant bullying and belittling that so many mixed kids are subjected to here. And it has nothing to do really with how you look other than your actual skin tone. So, Jasmine could very well grow up to be as pretty as her mother, which she probably will, but that won't matter. Nor should it, obviously, but the fact that it's so centered on color, it's fascinating. And obviously America is a notoriously racist country in many ways, but if you're a half black, half Japanese kid walking down the street, congratulations. If you speak English, you're another American walking down the street. It doesn't really matter. Japan's not that way. And I think it's specifically the tug that she'll feel to be Japanese, but to also be other.
And that's the whole point. Like I said, if, I have kids and the person is Asian or something else of another race, I'm going to have to tell my kid automatically, you have me, the black side, the best side. I'm going to be a little arrogant with it, but I'm like, I concoctions the best black side. And I'm going to teach them the history, the real history of black people. And I'm going to tell them the dysfunction, or she, the dysfunction, and you don't want to join it. But also, you have the good side of the race that you're on the opposite side. And meaning that you don't have to participate in either, or you can participate in both. And if somebody tells you to choose, then that's up to you, whether you want to take on the black side more or the black side more or the other side more. But you're still going to be both. A lot of people try to jump. If they black and white, they try to be more black. And then, if they raised by a white person and a black person, they try to just be white. And it looks crummy.
Really concerns me. And so, again, I've never really approached a video topic like this, but I feel like this.
And the whole thing is, and I think his concerns has some valids. He has some valid points about his concerns. But at the same time, there's more mixed people coming in Japan now because they have a deficit when it comes down to relationships and kids, and a lot of the main born Japanese people are not having kids like that. So let's see some more videos. And what they didn't happen. See, and this is the thing, right? Look, this is the thing, right? The Vermillions and the people who talk shit about all these other people might not talk about how big certain families are and how together it is. And that's what a lot of us want. We don't want this dysfunctional shit. We don't want to have people digging in our pockets and all this other bullshit. There's a lot of men who marry other races and go overseas, and they have parties. They have parties because some people told me about that. They have real parties for the man, for him to be welcome into the family. And I heard, I talked to one guy who told me that he felt incredibly loved and appreciated because his own family never really had a party for him just to appreciate him. Even when he did the good right thing, they always had parties for the dysfunctional people, but not the good people. And a lot of black men have to deal with that crap, looking at these dudes going to parties and no parties for the good people. But when they go into situations where the whole family is looking at them and stuff, and they have the whole family have the person's back, and then they're like, oh, they just use you for your money. And then their family come out of nowhere, 50 deep, was like, what you just said in my family? I'm not using them for his money. We got our own money. And dudes back off. Yo, man, I don't know, no, man, no. This is the real family structure that a lot of black men want. And they want this kind of feeling because they can't get it in these dysfunctional people. They're so busy with dysfunctional pump and dump, all this other rotation bullshit. They can't produce a loving family that produce good people to put into the world. Now, let's go to another anti-SYSBM and passport guy. Your boy, Brian Solange. So, he had to delete half of his videos because the FBI was looking at him. He had more videos on here than that. But, he had to take some of his videos down because they was taking him. Now, here he goes again, talking shit about passport guys. So, here we go. Passport for pussy. The grass isn't greener. Just cause she white don't make her right. Miami Instagram thought. Hanging out with the father at the luxury bar, stabbing a man. Now the so-called high-value man is gone. Who is going to pay for this violence since the white lover has been released? Another brother who made the foolishly fatal of thinking that Becky was less of a train wreck than Brianna. I told you but you keep listening to white women are only better at hiding their crazy for a long period. Then black women doesn't mean that a lot of them are any less crazy. Black people of both genders are going to keep in the strays off the streets, blah, 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 blah. How many black people? So, this your boy, Brian Solange, who don't know what the fuck he want to be. First, he's a whole weirdo, right? I didn't know that this picture on his icon was his ex-girlfriend. Why in the fuck would you have your ex-girlfriend as your picture? That's some creepy weirdo shit. And then you are acting pro-black even though you don't have a stake in the black community doing anything for the black community in a positive way. You don't want to have kids. You don't want to care about going and putting your all your knowledge to somebody. You just here to talk about let's be alone and be on the island. Let's not mess with nobody. Let's have sex dolls. Which I don't have a problem with, but when other people found other ways and they're being more successful than your way, you want to go after passport men and sysbm because you're just fucking mad that you couldn't make it work out with the ex, or you couldn't make it work out with black women. I bet you if black women changed today or tomorrow, Brian Salons would be the first dude in line trying to get his servings of pussy pie from these women. And the only reason why he the way he is because he couldn't get his way with black women. This is why he don't like other races. This is why this dude never tried anything. This is why this dude never tried anything else, because he's stuck on black people. He showed himself to be a pro-black. I'm surprised he didn't turn into a Frank James. Look what happened to Frank James. A dude that relied so heavily on pro-black rhetoric that he went out and did what he did. For what? Because he's seen his life what it is. He couldn't depend on the so-called black community, and his way didn't work. And he's seen everybody else having a better way than he had. Just like Brian Solange. There's guys in sysbm who've been married for years. There's guys with passports who are having fun. But your stupid ass is still sitting here making videos about violence and having to shut down your site because the FBI, and you just talking about violence and yeah man, that girl is dead. Her feet fell, her nigger bitching all. It's like, dude, man. But this your boy who try to be pro-black and try to be something else at the same time. So let's talk about the influx of women. Why is it that the men in other cultures are never shamed like the men over here? So we have Korean men who are wifing up women from other races. Russian, UK, black women, there's an influx of a whole bunch of women. I'm hearing there's an influx of a lot of women that are moving to South Korea, and they're dating South Korean men. And I don't hear a dumbass, they don't have a Korean Brian Solange or a Korean Super Sly or a Korean Ramil Amir talking about you going overseas for women. You going overseas for women. Oh, yeah, man. Passport for pussy. Oh, look. Every other race does not stop their men from finding happiness if they know their women are fucked up. And the women know where to go at. Where the women, they leaving. So let me show you a YouTube channel where you got a Brazilian. You got a Brazilian girl and a Korean man living in Korea. This is a prank channel. There's a lot of channels with Korean men with white women. A lot of you dudes don't understand that this is going to be the new world where everybody's going to mix and match to get a different perspective, because feminism has made it so that you don't appreciate the people that is just like you in your own race, but you do appreciate somebody else that is different from you who got the same kind of whatever traits. White women sometimes don't respect white guys and call them this and this and that, but they will respect a black guy who acts white because he's black. Black women who don't, not the swirlers, black women who know they have to flee the dysfunctional society, and they'll go overseas to Korea and get with a Korean man, and her relationship will last until they break up or won't ever break up, because they don't want to be a part of the dysfunction. There's black men who always get the brung all the jokes and all this dumb shit, all these videos and passport for pussy and all this dumb shit from Brian Solange or Ramil Amir or Super Sly and all these other dumb motherfuckers over here who tell you this plethora of women out here, even though they all dysfunctional and fucked up in the head, but they don't want you to go to another person who will appreciate you and you get to keep who you really are. You don't have to be some fake ass street dudes or listen to the stupid ass music. You get to find somebody who like the same music as you, who won't try this dumb bullshit and who appreciates you because they're tired of their own men treating them like shit. Just like men are tired of the women treating them like shit, and they come together and say, okay, we appreciate it. We will appreciate each other more because we know what it's like to be dissed and talked about. So we're not going to do that to each other. She's from Brazil, where men treat women like the replaceable. And he's in Korea, where the women think they're better than some of the Korean men. So it makes sense that Korean men are on the come up with other races of women or other nationalities of women.
잘 지냈지? 난 잘 지내지. 그동안 어떻게 지냈어? 와, 진짜 오랜만이다. 와, 몇 년 만이지? 와, 벌써 그렇게 됐어? 와, 엄마야. 와, 진짜 오래됐다. 와, 나는 잘 살지. 지금, 결혼도 했고, 지금 와이프랑 있어. 잠깐만.
And this is the advantage of dating somebody in a different nationality. You get to be who you want to be while you get a woman from a person, because both sides know what it's like to be talked down to, treated badly. Both of them, they can barely speak English, but it makes it worse for them. She barely speaks English because she's from Brazil. She speaks Portuguese and he speaks Korean, and he can barely speak English, but guess what? They're together.
잘 지내지. 와이프가 너 안부 전해달랬어. 안녕하세요라고 했어.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
엄청 좋아. 너 와이프가 너무 잘해줘가지고 너무 행복하지.
And see, and the dynamics. You don't see her going out cheating. You don't go out. See, I respect the women who take themselves out of bad environments and go to another country. See, what these idiots don't understand is that most of the good people, especially the good women, they left a long time ago. A lot of these women left and went overseas. They got tired of the player bullshit. They got tired of they didn't want to be a part of no guy's rotation. The first batch of women who looked at the society and they looked at their family members. They said, fuck this. I'm going to learn another language. I'm out of here. And they never came back. Some of them, they make money here and they go somewhere else. That's why you don't see a lot of these motherfuckers in this space talking shit down to black men who travel. You only got the bitter women who fuck their life over and the bitter men who want to compete with you because they know they can always beat you when it comes down to these women.
Many years ago.
When was the last time talked to her? Because it's weekend. Nobody calls in the weekend unless they want to make some date.
No, it was like 7
I talked to her.
What did the man say you heard? You just called me.
And you pick up the call. Like this. Oh, she calls me. I never did.
Oh, what should I do?
Oh man, see man. So, what you have to deal with over here is you have to deal with a girl who looks like a child, but she's really 22. She doesn't want to date a small person. Let me show you. I hope I don't get what's the
Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus now bundled together. The greatest stories and characters and tons of.
If you were to look at me, you would think I'm just a normal little girl doing normal little girl things with my fun, crazy family. I have no clue what lane you're in. Because you're supposed to sit up. I am sitting up. It's just sitting on the dashboard. But the truth is, I'm not a little girl. I'm a woman. A 22-year-old woman.
So even and this how crazy that this is. And what these fucking SBE dudes don't understand, and what these fucking Vermil the Mayor pump and dump motherfuckers don't understand, is the fact is all of your dumb shit has made these women have an ego to think they always have options. Instead of ignoring them like other men do in their culture and making these women change on their own by basically outcasting them, you didn't. So we have a woman here who's 22 years old that looked like she's an 8-year-old girl. Instead of her realizing she cannot date full-grown men. She has to date tiny guys. She doesn't want to date small guys. She want to date who she wants to date. And this does not stop here. It does not stop here. There's women who are big, overweight, who think they can get a six-pack dude. There's women with mental illness who think they can get a guy who has a clean bill of health. There's women who has HIV thinking they can get with guys who don't have it. There's women who out here who have STDs or whatever they have, whatever they called. I forgot because I don't want to say it too much because I don't want it to go down or whatever. They got all this different stuff going on with them, and they think they still have options instead of accepting the people in their lane. But when you're a man, you're over here telling you remember when Solo TV84, before he was turning into a crypto dude, he was telling you to bang fat women so you can get up to the good looking women. And look what happened to them. These guys inflated the egos of these women over here. And no matter what type of cancer, these women can have a tumor, no arms, no legs. They still think they can do better than the man who got a tumor on his face and no arms, no legs. Because this is what they told him. This is what these dudes did. The pump and dump dudes would touch anything and everything just to make themselves sexually satisfied. But when a guy says, I don't want to feed this sexual appetite of these women and the sexual attention of these women, I want to do that overseas because it's going to benefit me only. Oh no, man, you passport for pussy. Oh, you this and this. Hey, man. Now, let's go what it looks like in Vermil's world. Why Vermil not making videos about
every nigga who believe in street code?
Now, why Vermil Lemire is not making videos about 6ix9ine? Why? Because this is your street life, right? 6ix9ine is a green hair, purple hair punk rat who took a bunch of gang members, paid them off, and then turned around being a tough guy. He ratted on his former gang because when they was about to put him under, kidnapping them, and they wanted their money, he sold them out and then went on the streets and got another group of gang members to do the same thing. And these dudes think that they won't do it because they're so broke. Being a hood dude and a street guy doesn't pay the bills. So now you got guys like him using black men as muscle. But where's that stupid ass Brian Salons talking about this instead of paying for passport for pussy? Where's he at? Where's Super Slide making videos? Where are these dumb pro-black niggas making videos about 6ix9ine using black men as henchmen in order to go against other black men? Where he at? Now let's see what 6ix9ine says about his former gang.
Listen to this and listen to it very clear. My words. Hear my words. When I told you I did right by niggas and you said until you got to court, nah, that was time to save myself and save myself and my family, because nobody was gonna take care of my family. Now watch how I get them. So right now,
look at this loser ass dude with all this thing talking about I did right for the streets. Like, look, man. And only in black society, you want to talk shit about passport, guys? You want to talk about passport? Man, clean your fucking house up where you don't have clowns like this into your streets and using y'all like cannon fodder and then sell y'all out, and then he can be able to get a new group of niggas to protect him so he can spill this shit again.
I'm not bitch. It's right now. It's sitting in the penitentiary. Words came out to my mouth. He lost custody to his kids, right? Right. Why he calling on the snitch? Why he don't go on the streets to get his kids? Whoa. That was your man, though. No. Why not? Answer the question. Why is that your man? Why you calling? That was your man. Hold on. All right, let me ask you a question. Wait. Nah, I don't think you get away with that. No, what? He got you. No, he got you. You delivered the message. I'm about to get it. You delivered the message. Watch how I get him. Watch how you deliver the message. You delivered the message. He told on. He told on you. Come on, I told on him. So what? He told on him. Yo, bro. Wait up. 6ix9ine. Street nigga. Yo, 6ix9ine. What up? 6ix9ine. What? Listen, I need the streets to hear this. Fucking daddy, I need the streets to really hear this, bro. He wants what? Let me ask you. From the nigga that told on him, why don't you call on all the real street niggas out here that thought your plea, when you copped out, the niggas that thought you were honorable, that you got morals, that you got fucking integrity, why don't you call them niggas? Why? Because they turned their back on you and they probably fucking your bitch right now.
And 6ix9ine exposing the black community and this pro-black rhetoric bullshit. When you stand with the black dudes and they lose over and over again, you can see it on the black manosphere side. These niggas decided to go with Kevin Samuels. Everybody decided that they wanted to be. Kevin Samuels was the 6ix9ine of the black manosphere. Guess what? He ratted the whole manosphere space out to the women, and everybody started to turn up and turn different. Your boy O'Shea turned his back on the manosphere because he couldn't make no money from it and it was getting too hot. Your boy Obsidian decided to get a co-host's girl, and he lost a lot of people. He lost his people when he was talking down to MGTOW and his original group of people. And then your boy Angry Man was trying to be a fake political person, talking shit and all this other shit. And all he does is steal shit from people. So 6ix9ine, the snitch, so basically showed you that the street dudes don't have that kind of money. They don't have power. All they have is this street shit. This dysfunctional shit that doesn't pay off in the end. But you want us to try to rebuild black people? Your boy Brian Solange is telling us that black this, black that. But I'm Marlboro man. I don't want to be a part of the black society. But I'm going to just stay to myself and still be a pro-black. You can't be a pro-black, dumb dickhead. You already forfeited your genes to not move on. So why the fuck are you even in the conversation talking about pro-blackism? You're not even part of the conversations.
In front of your fucking kids, nigga.
But you leaving out the fact you turned your back on him too.
How we turn his back on him?
He destroyed them. He the reason why you're in jail.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. If he turned his back, If he turned his back on him, right? If he turned his back on it, right? Yeah, so why are you still trying to turn him around to face it? If he went another way already,
right?
Why would you even deliver that?
You know what? See, for me, wow, what? Now that's the most passionate shit. A nigga said he loved that man.
He can't love a nigga that got him in the penitentiary.
You know what? At one point in time, I'm not saying
that's not his brother. They ain't got the same.
Who said he loved him? Who said he loved him?
The one thing I can't do.
Wait.
The one thing I
He's
can't
told you. Wait.
Hold up. Listen,
He's told you he loved him.
I don't know how to be disloyal.
Wait, bro.
I don't understand.
Did Ish tell you he loved 6ix9ine?
I don't listen. Listen.
Did Ish answer that? Did Ish tell you that he loved 6ix9ine?
What he said was, he said I was in this. We was in my house. I gave these niggas my cars. I wasn't even there for these crimes.
So right now he was going to make it right.
Listen,
if 6ix9ine would take care of his kids, he would make it right.
The man is in jail, and he wasn't even
answer my question.
Let me finish though.
Okay.
He wasn't even there for the crimes that was being committed. His cause was. He's in jail for shit he didn't even do.
Okay, so answer my question. If 6ix9ine would look out for Ish's kids, would Ish make it right with 6ix9ine?
I can't say that. I don't know that man like that. I spoke to him.
But he wants 6ix9ine to look out for his kids, so we can assume he would. Now 6ix9ine, and I tell niggas this, when me and you was interviewing, right? Did or did not Shotty's son DM you asking for help? What I'm saying is, all these motherfuckers
there's a difference
who's talking this shit. No, you missed the point.
Piece of shit.
Everybody is talking this shit about what they would and wouldn't do.
I'm gonna be honest though. Shotty hit me up after the fact. He said,
what?
He said my son reached out because my son wanted to catch a fade.
Bullshit.
Yeah, we see the message.
Bullshit, we got the message.
He said, yo, bro, please help me.
Please help me.
I just want to.
Did you not see the message? What the fuck the message say, bro? What it say? Financial, right?
The message did say.
These dudes don't even have respect for each other. I have watched this shit in this space for a long time. Let's take example, your boy Reg the Bad Guy, right? Somebody who always said he has a man channel. But every single time this old chair sitting motherfucker is talking shit about SYSBM and passport, but every single time he's letting fucking females on his panels talking shit to his viewers until they have a falling out. Raining Woman don't be over there no more. The other chick don't be over there. Mika B don't be over there no more. The geeky girl that look like Steve Urkel don't be over there no more. The Bomb Cherry don't be over there no more. This dude constantly talking about he have game. He talking about incels, but he always taking WWWWLs. He taking, oh my fault, double L's, triple L's. When it comes down to the fact is he burnt his bridges with a lot of men a long time ago by letting women say what they say. Then this is like that all across the board. From O'Shea letting Taz in and let him run the muck, and now finally the women are turning against Taz. They been turned against him. Then you see, Ramil Lemire, and the result of O'Shea leaving, saying what he said about the manosphere. You see your boy Mr. Fantastic, the BWE, whatever he said his name was, acting like he cared for black men, and he's not even here. You don't need leaders to do your own fucking work. You don't need somebody to back you the fuck up if you believe in what you believe in. You could be the only one there. And that's what it's about, being a fucking leader. It means that people follow you, or people look at you and say, okay, I want to join his side. I want to be by his side. You don't need some group. You don't need a manosphere. You just need yourself to do it. When people want to join you, they join you. This is why I don't care about the numbers. But guess what? These dudes came in with O'Shea just for them to be under a banner. Then when they left O'Shea, you saw them for who they really are. A lot of people do the script shit. Look what happened with Jessica X. I have to call people out. I have to do it. Zero. Fucking Aegon. DJ Nav. The people over on Aegon stream, they sat on panels with that corny ass Jessica X, and they wanted to talk shit about everybody else, but she was talking down to the only person. Yes, Zero said eventually she was gonna turn, but I got more respect from Marco when he was like, man, fuck y'all dudes. And he had the dust up. And he had the dust up with them and he left them all alone. Marco was the only real dude in that space. Zero, he's just a guy. He knows his shit. But he's the I'm better than you dude. He's the I'm better than you dude. He's in that category. Jessica X showed herself for who she was. Game Changer looked like a fucking idiot for co-signing her when everybody told him to get rid of her. Everybody looked stupid for co-signing Jessica X, and she's on panels doing stupid shit. That breakup between her and the Tough Talk group with that piece of shit Gabe A, that shit was hilarious. These dudes didn't have a relationship for 2 months until they blew up. And then I told y'all dudes about that Naima chick. I told y'all about her, but y'all was licking her up, telling her how good she was, when I told you years ago that chick was just a single mom, bitter chick who had all this shit to say. Now she has a platform, and now she is just like all of them. I warned you dudes about Jessica X. I warned you about Naima. I warned you about Raining Woman, but y'all didn't listen. And y'all got some nerve to talk about SYSBM and talk about passport men. You have some nerve when y'all niggas can't even work together for more than 1 year. Are you fucking for real? Now, it was a situation where a dude looked like a rapper and 6ix9ine try to clown this kid. This is what happens when you always in dysfunctional shit. This is what happened when you have to deal with these dysfunctional people. This is black society in general. Your boy Chopper City tried to be a pimp in 2022. And he learned the hard way that the feds don't like that stuff. The feminist feds don't like the fact that you're trying to pimp out women. Women can only pimp out themselves on OnlyFans. And they planted a honeypot and he got arrested. Ramil, why are you not talking about how bad a pimp Chopper was? Wow, what happened? But you want to make videos about passport guys. So your boy Ramil wants you to pump and dump women who smack their kids on live. But he want to talk about single moms overseas. If shit like this happen overseas, there will be a video of a group of women beating the shit out of this woman and just knocking her shit out, beating her up, throwing rocks on her. They don't play when it comes to kids overseas. But hey, guys like Ramil and everybody who in the SBC outside, they pay. These women do bad shit to other men and they pay them with good sex. They reward these dysfunctional women with dick and attention. And then they act like they're doing something by passing the women along. But you just keeping these women afloat. If you leave them alone, keep your dick in your pants for 2 years, this whole thing will change. But you niggas don't have no discipline for that bullshit, right?
What's going?
So y'all want to talk shit about passport men, right? But why not you talking about these women that y'all banging that got these sloppy ass BBWs so they can sit here and brag about the men that they don't like and all the money that they get and all this other shit? The culture of black men. Why would I want to date women who get passed around by guys like this?
I don't even feel good about.
Listen what happened. Listen to the stuff that happened to jailmen. This is the women's main source of sex that they come from. They get street dudes like Ramil Lemire, these player type dudes who go both ways, and the main source of penis is guys from jail. Now listen to what this happened.
Saying this, but that is the magic of Reckless, is that he can make prison sound kind of fun.
But look though, boy, look, peep this. You fight a motherfucker up in the cookie. Look, listen, I can't be making this shit up. This is real shit. Look, my right hand of the God. You fight a motherfucker up in the look. You fight a motherfucker up in the Cook County jail. Look, hey Peter, you in the Cook County jail. Look, you get to fight a motherfucker. I'm from the grade. I get to fight. Look, you knock him out. Boom, I'm from the grade. His head hit the ground. So he hit the ground. All you gonna hear is get that butt. Motherfucker gonna be like this. Motherfucker gonna be like, motherfucker gonna be like, get the butt. I'm from the grade.
You gonna see motherfuckers coming out everywhere.
You see motherfucker coming out everywhere. Look, motherfucker gonna pull his pants down.
You ain't know what's on the dick.
Down,
fuck you come
open
from?
Up his ass cheeks, spin his ass, and then be like, boy, your ass a bitch.
It's gonna be a collage of saliva in your shit.
Nigga,
and this is the women. Remember what Super Sly said? That the thug dudes and Angry Man said the thug dudes, the guys that go to jail, they the real warriors. Oh, I didn't know they the booty warriors. Getting spit in they behind. Oh wow. And you want me to go after these nut ass dudes over here that got access to all these women? This is the reason why we don't want to have sex with these women. You don't mind sticking your dick into to sewage and basically shit in the can. But I like having to know that I got a clean one. And I'm not sticking it in the sewage drain with these women who sleep with guys who getting spit in their butt. Get his butt. Let's hear that again.
Fuck you come from?
Open up his ass cheeks, spin his ass, and then be like, boy, your ass a bitch. You can see motherfucker come out everywhere. Look, motherfucker gonna be like, look, hey Peter, you in the Cook County jail. Look, you get to fight a motherfucker. I'm from the grade. I get to fight. Look, you knock him out. Boom, I'm from the grade. His head hit the ground. So he hit the ground. All you gonna hear is get that butt. Motherfucker gonna be like this. Motherfucker gonna be like, motherfucker gonna be like, get the butt. I'm from the grade.
You gonna see motherfuckers coming out everywhere.
You can see motherfucker come out everywhere. Look, motherfucker gonna pull his pants down.
You ain't know what's on the dick.
Down.
Fuck you come from?
Open up his ass cheeks, spin his ass, and then be like, boy, your ass a bitch.
It's gonna be a collage of saliva in your shit.
That's something that a lot of these street dudes don't talk about. This homosexual shit. This bisexual stuff, but so no wonder why they can't leave. No wonder they can't leave these women alone and think with their head, because they so busy trying to get their masculinity back, and they think masculinity means they can get so many women, and they have to compete with you. And they have to talk about you having not get women, and they always have to tell you and talk down to you because they trying to get their masculinity back after dealing with all this phony shit. And I know a whole bunch of these dudes like this.
Saliva, bro, they gonna be spitting all type of saliva. You ain't know it. When you get on the deck,
niggas will walk up eating a bag of Flaming Hots, ready to spin your ass. Like you can see it's finna happen before it happen. Like, oh yeah,
they on the deck. They don't fight nobody. All they there is for the spit. They got the best saliva. He never even fight nobody. When somebody fight, they get fuck no. Hell no. Look, I ain't doing none of that shit.
I ain't gonna lie, motherfucker down there. Bitch ass nigga.
Look, he spit. I'm not spitting no ass.
Look, he did.
So, why can't they just leave Passport and sysbm alone? Talk about the problems, the many different fucking problems that you have over here, from this 6ix9ine shit, spitting in people's butt, women smacking their kids and you rewarding them with sex, you sharing the same type of women with these clown ass bisexual dudes, and you telling guys to go to Atlanta and New York and Miami. Be happy that you got all these plethora of women. Deal with their mentality, because I don't want to deal with it, and the people that I know don't want to deal with it. We like having peace and quiet. And then when we do want to have sexual interactions, we don't want to have those difficult bullshit where a woman is talking shit about us or exposing us, and we don't have to share our woman with no guy that getting spit in his ass or a guy who's spitting up a guy's ass.